Hi, my name is Heather Callahan. I'm with Northwest Public Schools, and I'm here to show you a few features or a few things you can add as far as restrictions go on an iPad. I've been fielding a few questions from some parents asking about some possible ways to do some restricting as far as an iPad goes, or even as far as a mobile phone. One big reminder before I go any further is any restriction codes or any codes that are placed on the iPad must be turned off prior to returning your iPad at the end of the school year. So if you set any restrictions or you have the 4-digit passcode for when your iPad goes to sleep, all those things need to be turned off before you turn your iPad in at the end of the year. So be sure that you pay attention if you set these restrictions that they have to be disabled before turning in your iPad. So basically, how you do something like this, or how you would go about, you would go into the settings icon on your iPad, and from settings you want to go down to where it says restrictions, and as you can see, mine is turned on, but it will probably be set to off. So when you go into restrictions, you will be required to set a password. And when you set it, you have the opportunity here to place some restrictions on your iPad. So I just want you to take a minute here and go over some possible restrictions with me and make yourself aware of what kind of restrictions you can have set on your iPad. First of all, anytime it's turned green, that is allow. So right now I have Safari turned on, cameras turned on, FaceTime is turned on, something you could easily turn off if you wanted to take that privilege away. The App Store can be, or the iTunes Store can be turned off. iBook Store can be turned off. Here's a couple things. If you have removed apps from a device that belongs to your son or daughter, you can turn the availability on or off as far as being able to install apps. And deleting apps, I turn the deleting apps on. It's disabled for deleting apps. One of the nice things about disabling the deleting app is if you have a young child using a device, this would be different than like an older student where you wouldn't want them to install certain apps. But as far as deleting apps, sometimes a young child could get a hold of an iPad and without knowing it, click on an app, and then the X would allow them to be able to delete it. So that's just something to think about there. And then in-app purchases, you can turn that on or off. A couple things down here at the bottom that I want to pay attention to are just paying attention to what types of music, movies, TV shows, what types of apps can be used as far as the ratings go. So if you go into apps, you don't allow apps in these certain restrictions as far as age levels go. So you can allow all apps. You can take these off. So you don't allow apps and you only allow 4+. Turn those things off. So those are some restrictions. Allow apps rated. So I have right now set allow apps rated 4+, 9+, 12+. Allow all apps. So you can take those off. Going back to restrictions again as far as apps go. You can also simply go into the ratings. And by default you're in United States rating here. And then when you go into music, if you have explicit turned on, then your music, podcasts, and iTunes U information, there would be able to be access or downloads with the explicit message next to it. So you can turn that off, and as you can see, what comes up is clean. As far as requiring a password, this is something that if you want a password required immediately, you can set that to immediately for downloads or different things, or you can have it set to 15 minutes. Same thing for movies. Okay, if you're using movies or downloading movies, you can restrict certain ratings as far as movies go. So these are just a couple different things you can set on an iPad as far as restrictions go. Again, you go into restrictions You have to put in a password or set a password, and then just simply start by deciding which of these uh, top options you want to allow or disallow, and then definitely go down into the allowed content and look for the different ratings and decide which ones you want to turn on or off in there. Remember, there's nothing wrong with simply checking your child's device at any time. Passwords that they have should be given to you so that you can help monitor these things. Again, my name is Heather Callahan with Northwest Public Schools, and if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me or email me. And the last plug about the password information, please be sure that prior to returning a device at the end of the year or turning a device in, that all the restriction codes or lock screen codes are disabled and set back to the default. Thank you very much.